Already. What's going on, everybody? I'm Chris Spreadsameter aside Quinn Kuski on the call today of this Division II matchup of ice hockey between the West Virginia University Mountaineers and the Akron Zips. The Mountaineers are coming off of a game yesterday against the Akron Zips where they tied in regulation 3-3, went to overtime where nothing could be decided, and they had to go to a shootout where they won 2-0. And the Mountaineer goalie shut off 3 shutout shots, and the Mountaineers won. How'd that win look yesterday, Quinn?
Well, the Mountaineers, they played a solid game. They looked like they were out-hustled for the majority of the game by the Zips, but in that third period, they rallied, were able to bring the game back, push it to overtime, and they killed off a major penalty in overtime. So the penalty kill did a great job, was able to force that game to the shootout, and there Bobby Z just shut the door on the Mountaineers and for the Mountaineers, and was able to bring that game in. And we're going to swing it down now to the PA announcer. We're going to get our starting lineups, national anthem, and we'll rejoin you for the puck drop.
Sounds good. Thanks, Quinn. Cool. What's going on, everybody? We are back. We're about to be at center ice for the puck drop in this matchup between the West Virginia University Mountaineers Division II hockey team versus the Akron Zips Division II hockey team. So, Quinn, what do you think Mountaineers have to do well today to get another win out of this matchup today?
If you're West Virginia, you got to increase physicality. They were outplayed physically by the Zips, and the Zips have a really fast team. So the best way to get to them is to play physical. But the thing is, both of these teams last game, they weren't able to keep their heads. Mountaineers taking that major penalty late in the game because of that. And if you can't keep your cool, you spend your whole game in the penalty box, you're going to wind up losing. So for both of these teams, your goal has got to be to play disciplined but physical hockey.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, discipline is one of the most important things in hockey. To be down a player, it's tough to play defense and to keep the other team out of trying to score goals. So here we are at center ice, and we're with the referee for the puck drop. Mountaineers win the drop. Push it up the left side and neutral ice. Akron controls the puck back to the Mountaineers. Mountaineers push it into Akron's zone. Shot Mountaineers off left side. Mountaineers hold possession at the top of blue line. Dropped in. Mountaineers moving around the puck in Akron's zone. They try to dump it around the back of the net. Swinging it around. Akron cuts it off. Akron holds possession in their zone. Mountaineers pressing. They clear it. It pucks in neutral ice into the Mountaineers zone. Akron contesting in the zone. Akron with the puck. Puts it in the middle. Oh, Mountaineers tip it out. Mountaineers looking to clear the puck out of their zone. Akron cuts it off. Akron at the top with the blue line with the puck. Mountaineers cut it off. Akron puck in the middle. Mountaineers clear it. Mountaineers looking to clear it up. Puck is in neutral ice now. Akron with the possession. Akron clears blue line into Mountaineers zone. Mountaineers able to hold them off and keep possession though. Back into neutral ice. Mountaineers clear it up into Akron zone, and we're looking. Oh, no icing, refs say. Mountaineers pressing hard behind the Akron net. Akron seems to be able to get it out though. Mountaineers still pressing. Akron has it behind their net.
This was the story of last game, a very aggressive forecheck for West Virginia, leading to opportunities offensively. So if they can keep this up, perhaps they can get a goal or two.
Absolutely. Already early in this match, you see high pressure from West Virginia as Akron comes and dumps it in the West Virginia zone, and West Virginia keeps the puck. Akron pressure on West Virginia's glass. Akron holds puck into the neutral ice. They're looking to keep possession. Akron just moving it around, trying to look for a shift change. Akron looking to clear ice, and the Mountaineers are right to cut it off, but Akron gets it out, and we are looking at an icing.
Early on, a bit of a feeling out process here. Neither team registering a shot on goal quite yet. And you wouldn't expect there to be too much of a feeling out process because these teams just played each other 24 hours ago. But right now, both teams really feeling each other out, seeing what each team's trying to do, what adjustments they made, and trying to get ready for this game.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing the same team 2 days in a row, you never know how they're going to switch it up. Mountaineers win the faceoff. Look for the shot. Oh, and it's off wide. Mountaineers hold possession up at the blue line. They dump it down low, keeping possession behind the Akron net. They swing it up top back to the blue line. Oh, shot on Mountaineers. That's off. Blocked by a defender. Mountaineers keep possession. Oh, here the Akron Zips moving it out to central ice. Akron cuts it off, and they have a little bit of a break here. Akron in the zone. All 5 Mountaineer defenders are back, though. They seem to be getting back very well. Mountaineers go to clear, but Akron cuts it off. Keep it in Mountaineer zone. Oh, now it's in neutral ice. Akron pushes it back to their zone. Akron pushing through neutral ice, and Mountaineer cuts it off. Offsides.
Right there on that break from Akron before the offside, you could really see the speed there. Just took it out to the wing and accelerated past the Mountaineer defense before they even knew what was happening. Almost was able to generate a solid chance there. The offsides preventing that.
Mountaineers win the drop, keeping possession in their zone. Put it wide. Akron cuts it off in central ice, but Mountaineers still push it. Oh, Akron cuts it off, has it in the Mountaineer zone. Akron with a little break. Akron player shoots, blocked. Great save by the keeper. Looks like we have a penalty already early on in this game.
A solid defensive play there for West Virginia. Got beat, and instead of letting that man get by him, able to tie him up and bring him down, and to legally do so there is very impressive because that's a situation a lot of players take a penalty in.
Absolutely, great defensive play there. My apologies, there was no penalty on the play, actually. It was some great defense there, and we're back for the drop. Mountaineers win the drop and clear it up. Mountaineers are pushing. Akron goalie comes out, tips it to his defender who wraps around the net and slowly tries to bring it up for Akron. He slows it down, lets the team get their position, and Akron is pushing in their defensive zone. Akron into neutral ice. West Virginia cuts it off on their end, back into neutral ice. Akron cuts it off, and everyone thought he was offside. Shot, save. It looks to have gone through the keeper's legs, but dribbled out wide, and the ref calls it a dead puck.
West Virginia got lucky there. That puck was in the netminder's pads, but it actually was squeaking through his 5-hole, and right when they blew it dead, that was coming through to where it might have been on goal, and of course the Zips unable to jump on that loose puck as it's already blown dead.
Back here on the drop, and West Virginia wins the drop. Early on, West Virginia is owning these faceoffs. Back in the middle, Akron looking for the shot up top by the blue line. Working it around up top. Oh, behind the keeper. Oh, great save by West Virginia's keeper. Looks like we have trip. Oh, looks like a hand pass by the referees was called. Looks like we have a little miscommunication up here from the box. There was a penalty, I believe, on the Mountaineers. So the Mountaineers have another 1 minute and 10 seconds left on their PK. Penalty kill. Face off in neutral ice. Akron wins the tip. Akron pushing it up into West Virginia's zone. Now he turns back and keeps the puck in neutral ice for possession. Swings it around the side. Akron looking to get in the Mountaineers zone. Dumps him down behind the Mountaineers net. Hard hits on the glass. Akron takes control by the blue line in Mountaineers zone. Akron looks for the pass, touch shot, off. West Virginia looks to clear, and they are successful with that. West Virginia looking for the line change as the Akron keeper drops it off to his defender, and they reset. West Virginia able to cut it off in neutral ice, and they reset themselves. 30 seconds left on the power play, and they're able to clear it as it hits the ref right when it enters the Akron defensive zone. And Akron keeps possession as they are forced pressure-wise on the Mountaineers. Akron coming up on a 1v3 play. The Mountaineers are able to clear it out behind the Mountaineer net. Akron holds it before the puck crosses back into neutral ice. Looking for the shot up top. Akron shoots, blocked by the attacker on West Virginia. And they clear, and the power play is over. Mountaineers have successfully killed off the power play. Back to even strength. Mountaineers holding possession in neutral ice. Look to push in Akron zone. Mountaineers look for the shot, and it's off. Great save by the Akron keeper. Mountaineers back with the puck at top of the blue. They look to dump it. Look for the shot. Great save by the Akron keeper again. Akron has possession, looking to reset behind their net. Mountaineers playing pressure on them. Don't let them get out, and the Mountaineers keep possession in Akron zone. Mountaineers struggling to keep the puck in front of the Akron net, and Akron comes out with a little break, 1-on-2 in West Virginia's favor. Akron shoots, and great save by the keeper. Mountaineers keeper able to pad the puck away. Akron keeps the puck, and they look to dump it behind the West Virginia. A wraparound shot, saved by the Mountaineers keeper.
So that shot down on the other end by West Virginia coming right off that penalty kill. It looked close, and it was. It hit off the far side post there. It rang iron. Very first shot of the game for West Virginia. Hits the red pipe. It's called the goalie's best friend for a reason, and it was right there.
Absolutely. Goalies always love seeing that puck staying out from the post. A couple early good shots for both teams here. Here for the drop. Akron wins the tip. Akron dumps it behind the West Virginia goal. Akron looks to the play in the middle. It's blocked by the West Virginia defender. West Virginia keeps the puck behind their net. Akron looking to keep it in there. Akron dumps it behind again. Oh, they put it in the middle. Akron looking to keep possession, and Mountaineers are pushing them. Fans banging on the ice in front of the Mountaineers players who are fighting on the boards. Mountaineers are able to clear it from the board, but Akron keeps it. Mountaineers look to clear. They have a 4-on-2 break going on right now as the third Akron defender gets back. Offsides, the ref's call.
And you'll see a little chirping going on after that whistle. Play had been blown dead, and then West Virginia took the shot. If you're Akron, though, you don't like that at all. Then it's not something you're going to take too kindly. And we'll have a little chip chat after the whistle, and we'll get back to play.
Absolutely. If you're that one taking that late shot, you want to keep an eye out for yourself. There could be some hits coming your later in the game if you're going to do that. Back to the drop. In neutral ice. Mountaineers win the tip. And Akron cuts it off, looking to get into the Mountaineers zone where the defender cuts it off, and Mountaineer clears up into the Akron zone where the Akron defender cuts it off and takes it himself. Akron with the puck, contested by West Virginia as they bring it up the left side of the ice. Akron player trying to be the defender of West Virginia, but West Virginia is able to clear it as they look to push into Akron's zone. Akron is able to cut it off and keep the puck out away from their keeper. Akron's pushing in. They have a 3-on-3 rush right here, coming down neutral ice into West Virginia's zone. Akron player is able to keep it and look to dump it off. He's unable to do that, and West Virginia is able to clear the ice, and they have a 2-on-1 breakaway here. West Virginia defenders got back. It's 2-on-2, and Akron is able to clear it wide. Great defense by Akron there. West Virginia is able to keep it in Akron's zone as Akron gets it back actually and switches sides as they look to push through neutral ice. Akron dumps it into West Virginia's zone as West Virginia gets possession and swings it around into neutral ice. Akron is able to maintain possession after that. Very back and forth game so far. A lot of neutral ice play. No team really holding the competitive advantage here on the possession. As West Virginia gets it into Akron's zone, and they look to dump it behind the Akron net. West Virginia with the puck behind the Akron net, and the Akron defender cuts him off and takes the puck. West Virginia able to dump it back behind the net, where Akron is able to grab the puck and take it out of the zone back into neutral ice. Akron player pushing up the left side of the ice by himself. He got a full 4 defenders back for West Virginia as they cut it off and get it back as West Virginia neutral ice. Akron cuts it off in their zone, where they're able to get it back for themselves in neutral ice. Akron in West Virginia territory, dumps it in the middle, and it's off. No one's there to complete that. Akron shot. And it's cleared out, back up to the blue line, but Akron's able to keep it back in, and they dump it behind the West Virginia goal, where they look to bring it around and swing it back to the defenders. Akron's player looking for the shot. Akron able to gather the rebound off that shot there, keep it in the net. Sorry, the Mountaineers zone. Mountaineers able to hold the puck behind their net right now. They grab possession and people clear. West Virginia dumps it up the net, and they are putting pressure on the Akron keeper, who then holds the puck, and the teams look for line changes.
Definitely a lot of back and forth play so far, but not a lot of shots. Like you were saying earlier, a lot of neutralized play. Neither team really with any established zone time so far. And when either team gets that established zone time, they're not doing anything with it. 3-1 in shots right now in favor of the Zips.
As Akron wins that tip, and they look to clear it from their zone. Akron successfully gets it out as they're in neutral ice with a little 3v2 break. Oh, it's a shot, and West Virginia save. Akron keeps it in. Akron behind the West Virginia net, swings it back out to their defender. Akron at the top of the blue line, swinging it around behind West Virginia's net. West Virginia looking to clear, self-pass around the boards. Akron's able to keep it in, but West Virginia keeps possession, and they get it into neutral ice, where it's a 2v2 break for West Virginia. Shot! Looked like a good save by the Akron keeper there. West Virginia maintains possession here in Akron's zone. And they look for the quick shot for the tip, and it's off. West Virginia maintains possession, tries to dump it behind the Akron net. Akron's able to cut it off and hold possession and try to clear their zone, where the Mountaineer player cuts off the puck at the blue line. He tries to dump it back in. Akron cuts it off, and now there's a scrum on the board for the puck in the Akron zone. West Virginia is able to keep it in the middle. Oh, big hit, and then Akron takes it, puts it in neutral ice, where West Virginia then delayed call for an offside, but Akron is able to take it before the refs call it. West Virginia dumps it into Akron zone, and Akron is able to hold the puck behind their net as West Virginia gets a full line change, it looks like.
Yeah, big change there from West Virginia. If you're Akron, you want to be pushing the action right now, which they're doing so.
Akron looks for the shot, and it's wide. West Virginia looks to push it on a 3v2 break. Drop it in the back. West Virginia keeps the puck around and back in the net. Looks to put it out in front. West Virginia shot. That's off. West Virginia defender keeps it back behind the Akron net, where West Virginia maintains possession and looks for a shot up top by the blue line. Shot. Great save by the Akron keeper there.
A lot of battling in front of the net right there for positioning. Number 21 for West Virginia and 2 for the Zips out there having an absolute war for positioning as 21's looking for that deflection. West Virginia's playing a point shot. Look for that deflection right in front of the netminder game, and if they can keep battling for position like that, eventually they're going to get one in that style.
Absolutely. It's always nice to get a little deflection, throw off the keeper for a goal. We're back in West Virginia, wins the tip, but Akron is able to cut it off and look for a little 2v2 push coming up into neutral ice, now into West Virginia territory. Akron cuts in front of the West Virginia net, plays off a pass into the middle, where West Virginia is able to cut it off, and no Akron player was there. West Virginia holds possession in neutral ice, where Akron is able to cut it off and cross right back over to West Virginia's offensive zone. Akron player keeps possession right by us in front of here. Akron able to dip it around the net of West Virginia. West Virginia is able to keep possession, where there's a big hit behind the net. A couple late hits by the players. West Virginia resets possession, looks to play it up the right side of the ice, and they have a little break here, a little 2v2. West Virginia looks to the pass, and across the net. Player's able to get on it, but the keeper makes a great save. Akron keeps possession here, coming out of their offense, or the defensive end, in the neutral ice, crossing over to Mountaineers zone. Akron able to keep it in the Mountaineers territory. Mountaineers able to clear it up, looking for a 1v2 breakaway on the favorite to the Akron side. West Virginia shot, and that's wide. Goes behind the net, where the puck clears out into neutral ice, and West Virginia is able to hold possession. West Virginia trying to clear it up into the Akron defensive end, not able to. The Akron defenders cut them off as soon as they cross in the zone. Akron holding possession here, trying to hold it behind their ice, where a West Virginia player cuts them off and is trying to force the puck back into the middle, where the keeper uses a stick to clear it out. Akron holds the puck here in their zone, trying to clear it into neutral ice, and they do. Oh, it's stuck back in their zone, back into neutral ice. Akron able to clear.
Early on here, it's been a lot of West Virginia controlling the puck, but they're not generating offense with it. They're starting to get some better shots now, but a lot of the shots that they're taking are from the outside, and that's an easy save every time.
Yeah, both of these teams really fighting on the boards, and they're trying to win possession down low. I mean, if you build it up from the back, you can cross that blue line and try to keep the possession and score there. Akron holding possession behind their net, whipping it around, and West Virginia cuts it off, where Akron regains it behind their net again. West Virginia looks for a little line change. Pressure up for West Virginia on behind the Akron net, and it looks like a penalty of some kind. Is that cross-checking, I believe?
Yeah, there was a really high hit there behind the net. Actually, our viewers at home had a great angle of it there. Player came in and cross-checked 81 for the West Virginia. I mean, way up high, right in the head. That's going to be a really easy call for the referee. He was looking right at it, and that's going to be a power play advantage here for West Virginia.
Yeah, big break here for the Mountaineers. You got 6 minutes left in the period. Try to sneak one in before and keep that momentum when you're trying to go into the second. Here we are with a 2-minute penalty for the Mountaineers as we go down to the Akron defensive end for the ice puck drop. Akron wins it, but the ref seems to want to call it back because he did not like his drop of the puck.
Yeah, a bit of an unfair drop there. It dropped pretty close to the Akron forward, so we'll redrop it and get back to it.
Here we are, and Akron wins the tip, where West Virginia quickly cuts it off, has it up top, swings it around to the left side. West Virginia keeping possession here. West Virginia dumps it in the middle, tries to, doesn't work, keeps it around the back of the net. The Akron keeper covers it up, and it looks like someone accidentally hit the Akron keeper a little late there. Everything's okay, no players face-to-face, and everything is peaceful for now.
Yeah, West Virginia, they're going with a one-high setup here on this power play. They're putting two outside, one high, one behind the net, and one in the slot. And the goal is to get that puck to the man in the slot. But the best way to do that, set up passes, fake some one-time shots, and then work it to the middle. You're not just going to be able to force it into them. That's not going to go.
West Virginia with the puck on the right side. We're trying to move it around on this power play with 1 minute and 35 seconds left. West Virginia tries to dump it in the middle where Akron cuts it off, but not able to clear their zone. West Virginia tries to dump it back down again. Mountaineers hold the puck up top, look for the shot, and it's a just wide off the deflection. Keeper looked like he would have covered it if he had it. West Virginia keeps possession, looks to the wrister. Great glove snatched by the keeper.
Yeah, keeper there flashes the leather. He had a clear line of sight. West Virginia's doing a good job trying to get guys in front, but on the counter, the Akron netminder doing a great job keeping his head moving the entire time, looking for that puck at all times, and he's able to see it there, and it's an easy glove save.
Here for the face-off in the Akron defensive end. Akron looks to have won the tip, but Mountaineers cut it off quickly and keep the puck. Both teams fighting on the glass here behind Akron's able to keep the possession, actually. They move it into central ice where West Virginia tries to come back and cut off their little attack they have going. Akron turns back to keep the possession and get a little setup going here. Mountaineers are pressing them pretty tough, though. Looks like they have them stuck behind the net, and Akron's able to clear it with 50 seconds left on this power play. Mountaineers have a one-man advantage here with another 45 seconds, like I said. 0-0 here in the game with 5 minutes left, and the Mountaineers are looking to sneak one in before this power play is over. Mountaineers try to cross it into the Akron zone, but they're called offside by the referees.
West Virginia right now, they had some great established zone time there to start that power play. They were executing well. They were getting a few shots, looking for those deflection goals like we were talking about earlier, but they got to be able to re-enter the zone. They haven't gotten back into the zone since it was cleared by the Zips.
Face off and neutral ice. The Zips win it and try to clear it up, where the Mountaineer goalie holds it with his stick and tries to clear it to the team. Mountaineers able to push it through neutral ice, where they enter the Akron zone and are tripped up. Not a penalty, tripped up by the Akron player, though. Mountaineers are able to keep the puck, where Akron cuts it off in front of their net, but they're not able to clear it. 10 seconds left on the power play. Mountaineers are unable to clear, and we have an Akron breakaway here with 5 seconds left on the power. Akron here, and the shoot. Great save by the keeper on the Akron power play.
A great chance right there for the short-handed Zips. They still have their man in the box, and they're able to get a short-handed opportunity. A great breakaway try, but stone cold there. West Virginia's netminder able to shut it down.
Yeah, you don't want that happening there. You got to watch those breakaways. West Virginia winning the face-off. Try to push it quick before that last player can come in, but he's already in. And we are back to even strength. Both teams, West Virginia looking to shoot, but they cannot get that puck under control. Akron looking to keep possession behind their net. They bring it around up their left side. Unable to clear into neutral ice. Excuse me, they were able to clear, but the West Virginia tips it back in, and the referees call another offsides.
But right now, if you're West Virginia, you're trying to enter that zone, but every time it seems like we're seeing an offsides call. If you're the Mountaineers, you've got to be watching for where your line mates are. Time those zone entries a little bit better, because it's hard to score when you can't enter the zone.
Absolutely, you're not going to score if you're not getting into the offensive zone. Akron ends up winning the tip, pushes it through central ice, where they are able to have it in front of the West Virginia goalie, shoots and is wide. Back behind the West Virginia net, where West Virginia corrals the possession, tries to keep it back, Akron cuts it off, have a shot right in front of the nets, and it's a goal! Akron shoots and scores right off of the lost possession by the Mountaineers in the corner, right in front of us. Akron's able to turn around, cut it right over to the middle. There wasn't a West Virginia defender, and they get an easy shot. Nothing much the goalie could do there.
Yeah, West Virginia, there was the puck battle along the wall, and West Virginia just got a bit too involved in it. They were down low trying to pull that puck free, and they got one too many men involved, and they hung their poor goalie out to dry, and 1-0 Zips.
Yeah, as a goalie, you never want to see that. You always want at least one defender in front of you. You never want to see both of those guys being drawn out to the outside and losing communication, losing the puck, and letting them come right in and let them have a free shot right in front of you. The Zips win the face-off at center ice, looking to hold possession, back cutting it behind their net. Turns back around where a Mountaineer player falls, and the Zips get to keep possession. Mountaineers come back and cut it off in the Zips zone. Dump it behind the Akron goalminder. Akron is able to keep possession where Mountaineers are pressing them in their zone. Akron wants to clear, but they don't want to waste the puck. They're looking for good passes to get out. Ref calls a dead whistle. Looks like there was a player down over there.
We got another West Virginia penalty coming up here. Tripping down low, and now Zips, who just went up 1-0, are going to get a chance on the power play.
Unlucky, you see a team having a power play and not being able to score. That power play ends, and the other team scores on them, and then gets another power play. So you'd really think the momentum's in Akron's hand at the moment. Got a puck drop here in the Mountaineer zone to the right of the Mountaineer keeper. Puck drops, Mountaineers win the tip. They look to clear, unable to do that. Akron keeps it back in, dumps behind the Mountaineer ice, where the Mountaineers are able to corral possession and try to clear it. Akron cuts it off right before it crosses the blue line. Mountaineers contested there in the middle, but Akron's able to keep it back in. West Virginia with possession, pushing it up the ice, able to clear it, and the Akron goalie will set up a possession for the Zips.
Akron with a bit of a different power play setup. They're going with a too-high look, which makes it a bit easier to keep it in the zone, but sometimes can cut back on your offense.
Absolutely. West Virginia is able to cut that possession off, dump it back into Akron zone where the keeper covers it up and gives it himself a pass out to his defender. Mountaineer is able to cut that puck off, send it in the middle. Mountaineers shoot. It's off. Waiting for a referee call there. Looks like the keeper saved it. Looks like we're going to have a face-off in front of the Akron keeper.
That thing's getting a bit grimy down there in the crease, which, if you're West Virginia, sometimes that's what it takes. You got to get them grimy, them greasy goals. And eventually, if you push hard enough, you might be able to knock one in. And it doesn't matter how they go, as long as they go, they wind up on the scoreboard.
Absolutely. You see them fighting hard down there, trying to get these deflections, tips, anything they can to sneak one by. Got a minute 13 left on this power play for the Akron Zips.
Well, so Chris, the net's still off its moorings down here on the Akron side, and referee finally realized that the net was off, and they're going over there to fix it now. So should be a few seconds away from getting back underway here in Morgantown.
Sounds good. I think we're ready back for the puck drop here at Central Ice, excuse me. Referee looks to clear the West Virginia player and get another one as the Akron Zips win the tip. Akron keeping possession behind their net. Looking to clear it as they push up the ice. Akron in neutral zone, looking to push into the West Virginia zone. Akron shoots, player finds it in front. Mountaineers able to clear it out. They push with a 3v3 push right now for the Mountaineers. Mountaineers get it into the Akron zone, and they're pushing behind the Akron net, and they pass across the front, and it's off. West Virginia able to keep possession, tries to dump it in front of the Akron keeper, where Akron is able to keep possession, and it looks like no call by the keeper, where we see almost a trip there. West Virginia able to keep possession in the Akron zone. West Virginia trying to wrap it up around the top of the Akron zone, are unable to do that. Akron cuts them off. The puck is deep down behind the goalkeeper of Akron. West Virginia coming out in front, looking to shoot. Akron save. West Virginia keeping possession here, trying to dump it back behind the ice, behind the Akron keeper. Looks like some fighting's on the board down there where West Virginia is able to keep possession, put it in front of the Akron goalkeeper, and West Virginia is not able to get a shot off there. Akron looks to clear it and also looks for a two-man line change. Akron dumps it behind the West Virginia goal, where they're actually able to keep the possession here in front of us. West Virginia is able to cut that possession off and bring it around their own net, where Akron tries to cut them off and keep them in their zone. Akron dumps it back into West Virginia zone, where a defender cuts it off. West Virginia clears it, but Akron is able to keep the possession over in their zone. Akron behind their net, being pressured by two West Virginia players. West Virginia is not letting them sneak out as we have 45 seconds left in this period. West Virginia in front of the Akron keeper, and he can't get a shot off. West Virginia at the top of the blue line, looking for a shot, and it's off. Akron defender blocks it. Akron defender bringing the puck up into neutral ice, has a little 1v2 in the favor of West Virginia, drops it off into the West Virginia keeper, who snatches it and holds it for the face-off. Couple choosy words there later after the player ice skates past the goalie.
West Virginia, they just had a series of great defensive plays. They spent an entire penalty kill in the Akron defensive zone, and it's a real easy kill when you're spending it 200 feet away from your own netminder. And on top of that, an interception around behind, able to walk out in front and take a shot on frame, but a great save by the Akron netminder, keep the score at 1-0.
West Virginia wins the tip here where Akron cuts it off, looks for the shot, and they miss. Akron able to keep possession in the West Virginia zone. They try to dump it off behind the net, and West Virginia cuts it off. Oh, and the two players meet here in the West Virginia zone as the West Virginia player goes down. The West Virginia looks for a breakaway, but Akron cuts it off with a big hit on West Virginia. West Virginia keeps the puck possession as Akron cuts it off, and we have an Akron breakaway here. 1v1, Akron with the puck. But the Mountaineers are able to cut it off and cut off the Akron breakaway, and the Mountaineers hold possession as we have the end of the quarter.
You know, the last 10 seconds of that period, they really looked like the entirety of that period. You have teams racing from one end of the ice to the other, and neither of the teams really getting a great chance out of it. You see these great plays and the potential developing, and just nothing comes of them. Akron able to get that one goal off a defensive zone turnover from West Virginia. So right now, and West Virginia should have had one off a defensive zone turnover from Akron. So for both of these teams, your locker room lesson has to be just be careful, watch the turnovers, because that's what hurt both of these teams more than anything else was bad turnovers in the defensive end. If these teams play sound hockey, we really might not see another goal in this game.
Absolutely, Quinn. I couldn't say it better myself. So we're here with a 1-0 game. Akron is up going into the first intermission, and we'll be back with the second period soon. going on, everybody? I'm Chris Breitzman. You're back on the West Virginia versus Akron call for the 1-0 game against Akron, and we drop the puck, and Akron wins the tip in neutral ice zone. They look to clear it in West Virginia's zone, and West Virginia is able to take possession behind their net. Akron cuts them off where West Virginia keeps the puck and tries to get it up around the side of the... Akron cuts it off, actually. West Virginia able to keep it, actually, behind their net. West Virginia holds possession as they bring the puck up and try to clear it into neutral ice, where Akron cuts it off. West Virginia neutral ice. 2v1 breakaway, looking to cut it off as Akron. West Virginia keeps the puck, looking for the shot, and that's a goal! Beautiful breakaway by the Mountaineers, where the Mountaineers are able to slip it across the goalie and tip it in. Beautiful shot.
Great goal there from West Virginia coming in on the fast break opportunity. Generated a 2-on-2. We're able to get that pass through, and the second that pass connects cross ice, the goalie's not going to have enough time to react to it. West Virginia pots it home, and we're even at ones.
It's a great timing of a goal there, too. Early in the period, it changes the momentum up. Anyone would think that Akron comes into this period with way more momentum than West Virginia, but from an early goal from West Virginia definitely changes that going forward. They were back with a puck drop at center ice. West Virginia looks to win it. Akron keeps the tip. Akron looking to keep possession back in their defensive zone. Akron wraps it around behind their keeper. Looks to keep possession. West Virginia cups it off in Akron's zone. Not able to keep it in Akron's zone as they try to gain possession in neutral ice. Akron able to take it back. Drops back to their defensive zone and keeps the possession. Akron players get a little trippy there, getting in each other's way. West Virginia cuts it off, neutral ice, looks to keep possession. West Virginia defenders swing it back and forth to each other. Akron cuts it off in neutral ice, looks to dump it back in West Virginia's zone, and is unable to do that. Akron holds the puck in their defensive zone. West Virginia neutral ice. Akron now pushing up to the West Virginia defensive zone. Akron up the right side of the ice, looks to drop it back to the defender where just clears the blue line, and the referee's calling offside.
An early whistle there on the offsides. So far from this period, it feels a bit like the first. We had that early goal from West Virginia, but since then, both teams kind of slowing down, and we'll see if anything winds up coming from this here.
Puck drop in neutral ice. Akron wins the tip. Akron looks to dump it off in West Virginia's zone. West Virginia keeper taps it off to his defender behind the net. West Virginia looks to clear. Unable to do that where Akron cuts it off. Akron tries to put it on West Virginia net, is unable to do that. The defender cuts and blocks it. West Virginia looks to clear the puck. They do so, getting into the neutral ice where Akron dumps it back off into the West Virginia defensive end. West Virginia wraps around their goal, trying to keep possession and move it back up their ice. Akron cuts it off in front of the West Virginia goal and is unable to score. West Virginia keeper has a great save using his left kicker. West Virginia looks to clear it up the ice and puts it out of play.
Huge play right there. A great interception by Akron. It's exactly what we were talking about before we went to intermission. Those defensive zone turnovers kill. West Virginia lucky to get away with that one there. A great chance out in front for the Zips.
Absolutely. It's a great save by the West Virginia keeper, and a little trippy there after the whistle blow. The referees have to go and split up the players. A little fighting going on, but they're able to split them up, and I believe somebody went to the box, but I think I'm wrong. I am definitely wrong. We have a full strength 5v5 going on right now. Puck drop in West Virginia's defensive zone, West Virginia wins it, looks to push it up to neutral ice where they're able to do that. 2v2 breakaway for the Mountaineers here. Mountaineers look to shoot, and it's off. Mountaineers do keep possession, though, in the Akron territory. West Virginia looking across in the central. Looking at shot. Goal by the West Virginia Mountaineers.
West Virginia able to force that defensive zone turnover, and the second that turnover forced, they bring it back in, generate a 2-on-1, and just great passing back and forth. Goalie could never set up consistently, and West Virginia able to put it home. They got a little bit lucky that the goalie wound up in position, but it goes off of his chest plate and into the net. 2-1 Mountaineers.
Yeah, I was caught off guard by that play there. I didn't expect it to be a goal. You might have thought that sounded like an awkward goal call by me. But anyway, it went in, and West Virginia looks at the 2-1 lead early in the second period. West Virginia wins the tip, and neutral ice looking to clear it up into the Akron zone, where Akron cuts it off and looks to switch sides over to the other defender. Akron unable to do so. Dumps it off into the West Virginia defensive zone, where the referees call off the icing. West Virginia tries to bring it up around the side, but Akron cuts it off into their defensive zone and tries to keep possession. They're unable to do so, and West Virginia cuts it off in neutral ice, pushing it into the Akron zone. 2v2 here for West Virginia. West Virginia looks for this. Pass and shot! Unable to do so on the shot, but great pass by the West Virginia player to get it right in front of the Akron keeper, but the other West Virginia player is unable to get that puck on net. West Virginia keeps it in the Akron zone, where Akron cuts it off, and Akron looks to clear it up top. Unable to do so, they keep the puck, swing it back behind their net, and keep possession. West Virginia player pressures behind their net. Akron is able to clear the puck into central ice. West Virginia cuts it off and looks to dump it back in the Akron zone, where they are able to do that, but Akron keeps possession behind the net, and they have plenty of time to set back up and get a good possession.
That chance there for West Virginia out in front about 40 seconds ago. That would have been a third goal in 3 minutes of this period. West Virginia did score 2 goals in about a minute 45, so this offense clicking right now.
Yeah, the momentum seems really to be on their side as they do cut off the ice and, the puck in neutral ice, dump it back in the Akron zone, where Akron is able to keep possession and bring it around their net. Akron looking to push it into neutral ice, where they are able to do that, keep the puck. And West Virginia player without a stick looking to be physical. West Virginia keeping the puck where it goes behind the West Virginia net. West Virginia unpressured. Players looking for a fight on the right side, but it looks like it's not going to happen. Looks like we have an icing call.
Bit of a miscue there for the Mountaineers. They were trying to push the action and catch Akron in a change, and there were 2 Mountaineer players right there to receive the pass. Both of them thought the other one had it. It goes right by him, and easy touch-up for Akron. Now they get an offensive zone draw.
15:33 left here in the second period of West Virginia versus Akron. Have the puck drop here, and it looks like West Virginia has won it. Akron has the puck in front of the West Virginia net. West Virginia cuts it off, looks to push it up the net. West Virginia in neutral zone here, 1v2 on Akron's side. Akron able to cut it off and have the puck on their boards behind their net. Akron looking to push it. Unable to do so, and the 2 West Virginia Mountaineers hold the puck on the ice, where Akron cuts it off and looks to push it into neutral ice. Akron on a 3v2 drop here. Akron looking to push it behind the West Virginia goal. West Virginia cuts it off, tries to clear it, but Akron cuts it off at the blue line, where West Virginia is able to cut him off. You have a 1v1 West Virginia breakaway here. West Virginia looks for the shot, and it's saved by Akron's goalkeeper.
Physical play leading to opportunities. That was the story there. Massive hit at center ice from West Virginia, right in the open ice. Motivates the offense. They come in with a full head of steam, and they're able to generate a solid chance there. And Akron's goalie able to play that positioning perfectly and make the save.
Curious why that player stuck with that line change where it looked like he had a breakaway to play on. Akron wins the tip in their zone. West Virginia is able to cut it off, dump it behind Akron's net, where Akron gains possession. Akron looking to swing it along their net. West Virginia cuts it off before it leaves the zone, is able to keep it in the middle. Unable to keep it on net though. West Virginia shoots, it's too high, and the puck is dead behind the... Oh, never mind, the puck is back in play. West Virginia looks to shoot, and it's off. Puck looks stuck on the back of the goal, but it came off, and play remained. West Virginia cuts it off before Akron is able to clear their zone. West Virginia keeping possession, looking to swing it up on their top. West Virginia looking for a shot from the top of the key shot. It's blocked by an Akron defender. West Virginia able to cut it off again in front of the Akron net. Looks for a shot. Great glove saved by the Akron goalie.
This is exactly what you want to see right now if you're West Virginia. They're firing on all cylinders, cycling the zone, working the puck in the slot, taking great shots, and the passes are crisp right now. Every pass tape to tape. There's sauce on some of them to get them around defensemen. They're shooting from the point, getting deflections out in front. If this keeps up, it's only a matter of time till it's 3-1.
Absolutely. And Mountaineers really, looking for the shot again, and Akron is able to keep it here. The Mountaineers really sounding loud from their bench. They're cheering on their teammates, and it really feels like the momentum is on the Mountaineers' side.
It's crazy how fast,
like you said.
Yeah, it's crazy how fast momentum can swing when you score 2 goals in a minute and a half.
You cannot be more right about that. West Virginia with the shot, with the Akron quick save. Akron looks to clear it, coming out of their zone. West Virginia is able to cut it off in neutral ice, looking to dump it back in Akron's zone. They're able to do so, but Akron cuts it off. Akron looking to keep possession in the middle, where he's swarmed by 4 Mountaineer players, but he's able to push it through, and Akron now has a 2v1 breakaway. Akron on the shot, and goes wide. Great save by the keeper of the Mountaineers. Big hit on the Akron player on the Mountaineer side. Looks like we have a delayed icing call on the Mountaineers.
Looked like nothing more than an icing, but Orange Armband kept his arm in the air for a little bit. Thought for a second we were about to see a penalty call. Nothing more than icing, and we'll go back to even strength play here with a offensive zone draw for the
face-off. Face-off in front of the keeper to the left, where the Mountaineers win it and are able to dump it behind their own net, swinging around and able to keep possession. Akron here on tight coverage on the Mountaineers' defensive end. They're fighting on the boards for the puck. Looks like Akron's able to keep possession where they aren't able to keep it in the zone of the Mountaineers. Tries to dump it back in where it goes out of play, and we have a central ice face-off.
Bit of a disadvantage here of the lower ceilings and the lower glass in this rink. In most rinks, you have the high glass and the half wall. In this rink, the glass all the way around is the height of a normal half wall, so it's a bit easier for the puck to go out of play here.
Centralized tip. Mountaineers look to win it, look to go on a breakaway where they're cut off. West Virginia's looking to push where the Akron defender cuts them off. Akron defender's able to get it behind the net, but West Virginia looks to have it in front of the Akron net where they are hit down and there's no player able to go. 3v2 breakaway for Akron here. West Virginia cuts it off. Offsides. Great defense by the Mountaineers, able to push that line a little high and cut off that Akron offense for being able to get in their zone without an offside.
That's one thing that West Virginia's executed really well so far. Those defensemen, they aren't drifting back and letting that zone entry happen. They're meeting the Akron forwards right at the blue line, and that's why we're seeing so many offsides. They're not letting them enter the zone.
That's great defense there for the West Virginia Mountaineers as we have the centralized face-off again. Looks like the Mountaineers won the tip. Akron has it in center ice. Looking to re-establish position here. Pushing it into the Mountaineer zone. Akron looks to keep the puck behind the Mountaineer net. Akron has the pucks, looking to keep possession, but both teams are banging on the boards. West Virginia ends up with possession, is able to kick it wide over to the other side of the ice. Akron able to cut it off, and Akron looking for the shot, not able to get it on target. Akron looking to beat West Virginia on the boards and try to gain possession, but it looks like there's 2 players down, one West Virginia, one Akron. West Virginia is able to get the puck out and swing it around the other side of the ice where the defender has the possession and looks to push it into central ice. Tries to get the pass across the ice, but is cut off by the Akron player. Akron looks to keep possession behind their net. Lets the offense set up. West Virginia looks to pressure, but Akron is able to get it out wide as they push the net into central ice. The puck. Akron dumps it into the West Virginia zone where it's hit by the referee and is kept near the blue line. Still got it in the zone, but West Virginia holds possession, looking to get behind their net now. West Virginia looking to push now. West Virginia in the Akron zone. Akron cuts it off. Akron crosses ice with the puck, able to get it to their other defender. Big hit by the West Virginia player on Akron. Puck in center ice. West Virginia cuts it off, looking for a quick breakaway here. Akron cuts it off at the blue line. These two teams are playing really closely together right now. Not a lot of constant possession. It's a lot of back and forth as the West Virginians hold possession in their defensive zone. Try to clear, but Akron cuts it off. Akron holding possession up by the West Virginia blue line. West Virginia defenders cut it off, and they look to have a 2v1 breakaway here, with the Akron defenders splitting the 2 West Virginia players. The players look to be going for each other more than the puck. Great defense by the Akron defender. Akron pushing a 3v2 break here. West Virginia defender able to make it full strength out of 3v3. West Virginia clears. Akron's able to keep it in the zone before it. West Virginia clears. Gets a shot on, but it's not very good, and it's batted down. Offside.
If you're West Virginia on those last two possessions, your zone entry has got to be better than that. You have one play where you have three Akron players tripping over one another, all laying in center ice. You've got a 5-on-2 if you take it, and you get so many players clustered in the middle you can't enter the zone. Then the very next play you have a 2-on-1, and instead of spacing, both of those players come in side by side, and the defenseman can take them both out by himself.
Yeah, well said, Quinn. I'm sure that's going to be a coaching point here at the end of this period. West Virginia pushes into the Akron offensive zone. Looks to shoot. It's shot high and out of play.
Much better zone entry there from West Virginia. I guess they're listening to me down on the bench. Perfect entry there. Get a good shot, but it winds up deflecting up and out of play. If they can establish some zone time here, they want to get back to that cycle they had earlier in the period.
West Virginia on the puck drop. Look for the shot, unable to get it on net. West Virginia tries to keep it in the zone, but is unable to do so. Akron holds the puck at central ice. Akron looking to dump it in the West Virginia zone. They're clear, no offsides. West Virginia is able to pick it up behind their net and keep possession. Akron on the pressure with West Virginia in their zone. West Virginia looking here for another 1v1 breakaway. Two Akron defenders trailing him. West Virginia looking to get in the middle, unable to have an offensive player there to finish off that puck. West Virginia looking up the top, looking for the shot, and it's wide. Akron able to keep possession behind their net. West Virginia looks to cut it off, and they do so behind the net. West Virginia looks for the wraparound shot, and it's a miss. Great hit on the left side by the Akron player. West Virginia holds the puck behind the Akron keeper. Looks to swing it around, but Akron cuts it off, and West Virginia is able to take. Big hit by the West Virginia player. Both of them go down. Akron keeps possession, looking to push it through central ice. Timeout. Timeout, I believe they call. He's got a couple late hits here. Players looking to get in each other's faces after that. I'm not sure what that call was there, Quinn. You have any idea?
Not sure why they killed play, but things are getting real physical out here, Chris, and we're seeing a lot of aggressive hits. Players aren't happy with one another. Maybe a penalty call coming up. Yeah, West Virginia going to the box there, and it's a thing that we have seen time and time again with this Mountaineer team. The game gets physical, they get angry, and instead of taking it and hurting them where it hurts the most on the scoreboard, they take a bad penalty and they go to the box. And they've got two guys going to the box here with two separate players taking a minor. You're going down to a 5-on-3 right now, and this is just absolute worst case scenario for West Virginia. You've outplayed them this entire period, and now you've taken a 2-1 lead, but now you're down to a 5-on-3, and it's a glorious opportunity for the Zips to take this game back over.
Absolutely. I mean, it's as if the West Virginia wants to hand Akron their momentum right now. But 2 minutes, 2 power plays, and here we go. Back on the ice, puck drop here in West Virginia territory. Players looking for the puck drop right now. Puck dropped, and Akron wins the tip. Akron looking to keep possession on the 5v3 for 2 whole minutes. West Virginia looking to fight off these 2 power plays and keep the puck out of the net. Akron looking to swing it around top. Keeping possession. West Virginia even to keep it, and they clear the zone. West Virginia clears it all the way to the other end, where the Akron keeper is able to dump it off to his defender, and they reset for possession. Minute 32 left on the power play. Oh, and the Akron player comes out of nowhere. Looks to have the breakaway where the keeper saves it. Great save by the Mountaineer keeper. Looks like the Akron player had come from the bench. He had a breakaway right. Great pass by the defender.
Yeah, West Virginia got caught there. Akron made a change, and they had a man flying off the bench right as they got that puck down ice. And luckily for West Virginia, on that breakaway, the forward fanned on it and wasn't able to get all of that shot.
Yeah, as a defender there, you want to give it to your goalie. That's a great save. As a coach, you want to yell at your defender, not letting him have that. 5v3 here still for another minute. Akron looks for the shot and is unable to do so, where the goalie for the West Virginia Mountaineers covers it up.
Yeah, that was deflected right out in front. A great second reaction, and able to cover that up with 58 seconds left to kill. One thing to keep in mind here, if Akron scores soon, they still get a 5-on-4 power play for the remaining penalty time.
Interesting. That wouldn't be good for the Mountaineers. Want to try to keep that out and let those two power plays kill themselves together. Akron looking to cross ice. They have it on the right side, looking for a shot, unable to do so. Akron at the top of the blue line, swinging it to the left side, back to the top. Akron looking to shoot, unable to do so. They shoot. Nope. West Virginia defender cuts it off. West Virginia tries to clear, unable to do so. Stopped by the Akron defender. Swung around to the left side by Akron. Looks for the wrist shot, unable to get it on net. And the puck soars out of the West Virginia zone all the way into the Akron zone, where West Virginia is able to switch one of their players and have 20 seconds left of the power play kill. Akron in the West Virginia zone right now, looking to try to gain possession before this thing is over. Akron shot, deflected by the West Virginia defender. Left wing for Akron, looks across the center ice, unable to do so. Akron shoots. That's off net again. Akron keeping possession on the left side. We have 4 seconds left on the power play. Akron goalie seeming to be letting his teammate know. Akron shoots. Great save by the West Virginia keeper. Couple extra hits after the play there.
You're West Virginia, you just got back to even strength. You can't be having those scrums after the whistle. It's very clear the refs are calling this game tight. They don't want things like this to happen. They saw the way the game broke down in the back half yesterday, and they're trying to prevent it from happening again. The refs have shown they're not afraid to take this game over. They'll throw 10 players in the sin bin. They don't care, but don't give them a reason to put you in the sin bin and play disciplined and organized hockey. You just had a great kill. The zone play was fantastic. Now go out and play hockey at even strength.
Yes, sir, Quinn Kuski. We're back to full strength 5v5 here as the West Virginia University keeper covers it up and will go to the face-off to the right in front of him.
I'll tell you right now, I would love to be a wall or an ear on the wall on that Mountaineer bench right now. I would not want to be a player on that bench, I'll tell you that.
I'm sure coach is not too happy down there from those 2 penalties, but they killed him off and we're back to full strength. Mountaineers still with the 2-1 advantage with 6.5 minutes left to play in the second period of the West Virginia University Mountaineers versus the Akron Zips. Akron looking for possession in the middle of the ice where West Virginia cuts it off and tries to dump it back into Akron's defensive zone. They're able to do so, but Akron cuts it off and is able to switch ice to the other defenders. Akron trying to grab the puck out of the air, unable to do so. West Virginia cuts it off, tries to jump it in Akron's zone, unable to do so. West Virginia with the puck, drops it off to Akron. Akron intercepts in that neutralized zone, tries to dump it into West Virginia's zone, but the referee called a delay icing. West Virginia takes the puck, no icing, and they get it all the way back down to Akron zone where they actually do call an icing against the West Virginia University Mountaineers.
If the call there was icing, it probably shouldn't have been. The Akron goalie was around behind to play it. At the point in which the goalie leaves the crease, that should negate the icing. So if the call was icing, it's a missed call, and I think that's why we're seeing this face-off coming out to neutral ice, because it was an inadvertent whistle.
Sounds good, Quinn. Always good to have you here. I don't believe I could have told our listeners that myself. West Virginia winning the tip. They're in their Akron zone, looks to put it out front and is unable to do so. Akron cuts it off, looking to get it to neutral ice. They are able to do so, but West Virginia cuts it off. West Virginia tips it into the Akron defensive zone. West Virginia holds the puck on the left side. Akron's keeper looking ready for a shot. West Virginia looking to cross it up. West Virginia in front of the Akron keeper, looks from the top of the spot and shoots, and it's off deflected by the Akron defender. Akron looks to push, going into the West Virginia University zone. Akron here with the puck behind the West Virginia net. Swings it back up to the top of the key player. Looks for the shot, unable to do so. West Virginia looking on the break right now. West Virginia looked to get the breakaway pass, but it was unable to do so. Referee looks to have another missed call. Called an icing where there should not have been an icing call. The West Virginia player made it to the puck before any Akron defender could, and the icing was miscalled, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know how you mess up that icing goal. That's 2 in a row now that they've missed, and that one is really bad. There wasn't even an Akron defender in the zone. The only players in the zone were the West Virginia forward and the Akron netminder. That cannot be a missed call because that takes a scoring chance away from the Mountaineers.
Yeah, these referees are making me question my hockey knowledge. Back to the game here. Akron wins the tip in the central ice. West Virginia looking to get it in the Akron zone. They're able to do so. West Virginia with the puck behind the Akron net. Akron able to take back possession and try to get the puck up. Akron able to do so in center ice, trying to get into West Virginia territory. They're able to do so, but West Virginia with a big hit to cut them off and put the puck back into central ice, where Akron grabs the puck just as the puck crosses over into the Akron defensive zone. West Virginia looks to clear it into the Akron zone, where he does. Akron keeper drops it off to his defender, and Akron with possession behind the net. Akron looks to push it, but West Virginia cuts it off and looks to regain possession in their zone. Akron player goes down as the West Virginia player swoops around him and makes him fall. West Virginia dumps it into the Akron zone, where Akron holds possession and has no pressure on them as the West Virginia University Mountaineers looks to get a 5-man line change. West Virginia here with the puck in their zone. A little bit of crafty stick work there by the Mountaineers. Akron cuts it off there in West Virginia's zone, looking for a player in front of the net, unable to do so, where Mountaineers get it on the West Virginia defensive end. West Virginia looks to push it in neutral ice, has a player up top where he dumps it into the Akron zone and hopefully gets to that puck first. West Virginia with possession on the right side, looking for a shot, unable to take the shot, looks to pass it across, and the West Virginia player tries to shoot, and it goes too high.
It's a great passing play there by West Virginia. The one-timer, the puck wound up on edge, and I'm starting to call into question the condition of this ice surface right now. We've seen multiple players just wiping out in open ice. We've seen the puck hopping up on edge quite a bit, and I mean, this is the 4th hockey game to be played on this ice rink. There's been free skates in between the games, so this rink's not in the best of shape right now, and I think it's starting to show.
Absolutely, you can see that thing bouncing everywhere. West Virginia looks to keep it in the Akron. Looks for the shot. Too wide. West Virginia with another shot. Nope, not able to get it on target as the defender cuts it off. West Virginia tries to keep it back in Akron's spot, but they're unable to do so. Akron's able to take possession in their zone. A little bit of pressure here by West Virginia, trying not to let Akron clear their zone. West Virginia able to keep possession behind the Akron net. Akron cuts it off right in front of us. West Virginia looks for the shot up by the top right, near the blue line, unable to do so. Akron player loses his stick. West Virginia in the middle of the puck, cleared out, just to behind the Akron goalie. West Virginia looks to put it in front of the net, but is unable to do so. It's cut off by the Akron defender. West Virginia is able to keep it in the zone before it clears. West Virginia with the shot, it's cut off by the defender. West Virginia with the shot in front of the net, goalie, great save. Great save by the Akron keeper there. West Virginia still with the possession. Akron cuts it off and they look for a break. West Virginia cuts it off and is able to get the shot, and it's just wide. Akron pushes the puck, just gets it out of their zone now, cutting through central ice. You got a 3v3 break here for Akron. Akron looks for the shot right as they pass the blue line and goes right to the keeper's catcher, and he holds it for a dead puck.
Yeah, just pretty routine save there. I mean, blast from the blue line, saw it in all the way. Easy to hold that one and freeze it for the offensive zone draw here for the Zips.
Back to a face-off right in front of the West Virginia goalkeeper. Referees look to be talking about something. Ref drops the puck and Akron wins the tip. West Virginia looks to clear it, but Akron cuts it off in center ice. Looks to have a late hit there for West Virginia. Somebody's down and looks very hurt. I actually did not see that myself, Quinn. I was following the puck. Did you happen to see that?
I didn't catch it. I was watching the puck as well. Our viewers at home should have seen it. The camera had a pretty good view for it. Definitely looks scary.
Yeah, the cameraman here is telling us it looked like a cross-check to the chin, I believe. It's never good. You never want to see that. It's a dangerous place to go.
Yeah, I'm not sure that our Mountaineer here is conscious. Yeah, definitely a scary play.
Absolutely. His arms were both to the sides, and it looked like he wasn't moving there for the first 10-15 seconds he was down.
I'm seeing some movement in his feet right now. Just a little bit of twitching here. Looks like he's awake. They're keeping him down on the ice. Wouldn't be surprised if they want to stabilize him before they take him off. Anytime a player's unconscious, you want to be extra careful with it. You got to worry about concussion risks as well.
Yeah, a lot of times you can also read the players' demeanors on the ice and how they're thinking and looking at the injury. And nobody seems to be freaking out too much, so he looks to be okay. A couple players giving him condolences right now, but they're taking his helmet to the side, and it definitely looks like he's going to be coming off the ice, probably for the rest of the game.
Yeah, without a doubt, he's got to come off the ice. You got to take him into concussion protocol. They're going to take him probably into the locker room where they can evaluate him, because you don't want to evaluate a player on the bench. It's not the best place for it. You want to take them to a quiet and more secluded location, run through your concussion evaluation according to the concussion protocol here, and make sure that that player is ready to go before you give them the ability to return. Right now, the biggest concern is definitely a head injury. Based on where he caught that cross check and the way he dropped, you got to worry about the initial hit to the head as well as when he dropped the whiplash from him going down.
Yeah, he's able to get up and skate off the ice, but not without a lot of help from two of his fellow West Virginia teammates.
Tom, what's the number? Can you see who it is?
20.
That was, for those who hadn't caught it, we were just able to figure out who the player was that was down. It was Kevin Bott down on the ice. He is being taken off now for medical evaluation, and we will make sure to update you on his condition as soon as possible.
Looks like we're getting back to play here. The ref's lining up for the face-off drop. Got 2:23 left in the second period, 2-1. Oh, also, looks like something we did not see or mention before. Looks like there's a 5-minute major on the clock for, I believe, the Mountaineers. They look like they have a 5-4 man advantage for 5 minutes. West Virginia with possession in the Akron zone. Not being pressured very much. West Virginia at the top of the key with the puck. Not much pressure here. West Virginia again with the top of the key. Maybe looking for a shot. Doesn't want it. Passes it off to his right wing. Brings it back around to the left wing. Back up to the center. They're really looking for that great shot, you can tell. Akron able to clear it. Looks like they have a little break here. 1v1. Akron player able to cut it back. Looks for the shot. Shoots, and it's deflected by the West Virginia defender and goes out of play.
West Virginia here, they got this 5-minute major power play, and just because you have a man advantage doesn't mean you can play lackadaisical defense, and that was the case there. Not aware of the fact that they had a man sneak in behind them and was able to receive that pass, get a breakaway. The Zips forward there waited for help, realized it wasn't coming, just went ahead and pulled the trigger, took the shot on frame, and West Virginia's here still got 1:45 left in the second period, more than enough time to generate some offense.
Here we're back. Akron has possession. Tries to dump it behind the West Virginia net, where West Virginia then cuts it off and establishes the possession, trying to bring it up the ice right now. 4 minutes left on the 5v4 major power play for the West Virginia Mountaineers. West Virginia with the puck in the Akron zone. Keeps possession as the Akron defender goes down. West Virginia tries to dump it behind the Akron net, where the Akron player makes a great play, is able to cut it back, cut off the West Virginia player, and dump it all the way back to the West Virginia goalkeeper. West Virginia keeper keeps possession for them, is able to get it to the teammate, where West Virginia is cut off in central ice by Akron. Akron tries to dump it back behind West Virginia. West Virginia cuts it off and is able to get the puck back in neutral ice, where they cross into the Akron territory. West Virginia looks to dump it behind the Akron goal, 50 seconds left on the period. 3.5 left on the power play. West Virginia up at the top of the key, keeps it in front of the blue line, back to his right wing. West Virginia looking to put it in the middle, looks to put it in the middle, does so, but is unable to get the shot off. West Virginia cuts it off before it gets to neutral ice, but Akron just beats him there and gets it. Here we have a whistle.
And some more undisciplined play there from West Virginia, and we got a tripping call upcoming, and wait, it just about completely takes away from that 5-minute major. They still got 3:10 left in the major, but now 2 of those next 3:10 is going to be spent at 4-on-4.
So our fans out there, for our fans out there who don't know, what happens if the Mountaineers score? Does that major stay there? What goes on?
Yeah, so right now you're playing it just like even strength. It's going to be 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes. After that 2 minutes, if West Virginia scores one, we will stay at 5-on-4. They get that full 5 minutes no matter what.
Sounds good. Thank you, Quinn. We're back here with the Akron Zips in center ice with the puck, holding position, not being pressured very hard by the Mountaineers. Got 4v4 hockey here now. Akron is able to get into the Mountaineer zone. Akron looks to put on the shot and unable to do so. Akron with the puck behind the West Virginia ice. Akron with the puck looking to put it up top. Akron for the shot. Lands right in front of the goalkeeper of the Mountaineers, and he puts his glove on it for a dead puck.
West Virginia right now, they're doing a great job accounting for everybody on the Akron forward lines here, making sure that all those passing lanes are closed off. Akron going with a bit of a dangerous play here, Chris. They're pulling the goalie with 4.6 to go here in the second period. They want to try and get that chance. West Virginia, if you get the puck, just shoot it down as fast as you can. Try to get it on frame.
Yeah, interesting idea here for Akron, but I mean, not many chances in a game that West Virginia will be able to score all the way from down there. So doesn't pay off for either team, and here we are going into the second intermission. The Mountaineers have a 2-1 lead, and we will be back after this break. What's going on, everybody? I'm Chris Blanchamitter, and we are back for the last period between the West Virginia University Mountaineers and the Akron Zips. It is a 2-1 game for the Mountaineers right now. We have a 4v4 play going on down on the ice. We have West Virginia with 2.5 minutes left on their power play. And, excuse me, I take that back. 2.5 minutes on their power play, and Akron has a minute and a half. West Virginia looks to shoot already there, and they can't quite get the shot off. West Virginia with the puck in Akron zone. Akron's able to cut it off and bring it to neutral ice. 4v4 is a lot more of an open game here. You're going to see a lot more possession, and Akron here has it in neutral ice, looking to push it into West Virginia University's offensive zone. Puck is dropped behind the West Virginia goal, where there was a big hit by the West Virginia University player, and players look to have talked after that as West Virginia tries to dump it into the Akron zone. Akron able to grab collection of the possession, but West Virginia cuts it off and has an opportunity here in the Akron zone. Both teams banging on the boards on the right side, trying to win the puck. West Virginia wins it. Akron goalie covers it up, looks for the dead puck.
Pretty fast start here for both teams, taking advantage of that fresh ice surface right now. It will deteriorate through this third period, and it will deteriorate rapidly. So both teams trying to play a speed game. You definitely are going to see more chances earlier in this third period than you are in the back half. So if you're the Zips, you want to try and get one probably before the 10-minute mark.
West Virginia winning the tip here, looking for a shot. That's off. Akron's keeper put it wide. West Virginia is able, Akron picks it up here in central ice. They have a little 2v2 break here. Akron puts it on West Virginia's net. The West Virginia goalie taps it out wide, where West Virginia tries to bang on the boards with Akron and win possession here. West Virginia ends up winning possession, looks to push the ice. You got a 2v2 break here for West Virginia. West Virginia puts it on net. Akron's keeper kicks it wide. Mountaineers look to drop it back behind the Akron net, where it's cut off by Akron. Akron dumps it back into the central zone, and the West Virginia Mountaineers look to regain possession here in their defensive zone. West Virginia moving the puck around in central ice. They get their fifth man back on the ice, and they have a power play for 50 more seconds. West Virginia trying to keep it in the Akron zone, but are unable to, and the referees call an offside.
West Virginia back on the power play now. They got 49 seconds of this major penalty. So even though there's only 49 seconds left, it is a major. So West Virginia can score and stay on the power play here.
Absolutely. Just look for West Virginia to be putting up a couple hot shots here in the next 20 to 30 seconds. West Virginia won the tip. They're regaining possession in their zone. They look to clear it up into the Akron zone, and it works, where the Akron goalie sweeps behind the net and grabs it, drops it off to his defender, and Akron looks to clear their zone. Akron does do that exactly, gets it all the way down here in front of us to the West Virginia Mountaineer goalie, who then dumps it off to his defender. West Virginia holding the puck behind the ice, looking to regain possession and push it up the ice. West Virginia now into the central zone. Akron cuts it off, and Akron keeps possession here, looking to get it into the West Virginia zone. West Virginia cuts it off in the middle. West Virginia just passing into the Akron zone. They got a 3v2 break here for West Virginia. West Virginia shoots, and it's off. Akron defender blocks it out of bounds.
Here we go. We have a player getting knocked into the goalpost after the whistle. That's not going to be taken kindly, and we got refs losing edges on the ice, players gathering together. Things are getting chippy.
Yeah, they're gonna need to let this ice rest for a couple of days if they want to be able to get it back to good ice. Excuse me, I didn't know how to finish that off. Anyway, back here in the Akron zone, in front of the Akron goalie for the faceoff. West Virginia loses the tip. Akron gains it behind their net. West Virginia unable to keep it in Akron's zone. West Virginia comes back in their zone, being pressured by Akron, and is able to clear it up. But Akron is able to get it back into the West Virginia zone, where the defender collects it and tries to regain possession for the West Virginia University Mountaineers. 17 minutes left in this full-strength game right now. 2-1 for the Mountaineers. Mountaineers dip it off into the Akron zone. Akron defender cuts off the Mountaineer and tries to get the puck behind its net to one of his other defenders. Akron here with the puck, gets it into his neutral zone. West Virginia is able to cut it off. West Virginia looks to dump it behind the goal of Akron. The goalie slows it down for his defender. Akron not letting West Virginia have any chances in front of that goal, making sure they won't cut off. their players and steal the puck in front of the net. West Virginia is able to take the puck, looks to shoot here, is unable to do so. Drops it out to his wide man. West Virginia keeps it on the boards. Akron looks to clear and is able to do so. West Virginia cuts it off and neutralized. West Virginia here looking to get organized and let their teammates get ready for the next attack here. West Virginia doing the same again, right in front of their keeper, trying to get all the guys ready for the next attack. They start pushing in, neutralized. Akron, cuts it off. West Virginia with the puck and centralized, looking to push into Akron territory. They do so. West Virginia able to keep it in territory. Looks for the shot, and it's a great pad save by the Akron goalkeeper. Couple swinging sticks down there, but looks like an out-of-bounds play. And we're going to have a face-off in front of the Akron keeper to the right.
West Virginia right now, they're taking their time. They're not ragging the puck per se, but when they're back with it in their defensive zone, if they got time, they're taking as long as they can before that pressure arises. West Virginia, they want to keep play going. They want to take as much time as they can, leave that clock running. They'll happily escape this game with a 2-1 victory.
We are here down for the face-off in front of the Akron goalkeeper. Excuse me, I don't believe so. I think it's going to be a neutralize. The referees decided to change it. West Virginia wins the tip there, moving it around the defensive end, trying to keep possession here. I believe the ref called an offside there. Not totally sure. Actually, I believe there's something else wrong. I don't think they called an offside. I think we're just going to go to a face-off and neutralize. That's exactly what we're doing. We're going to a face-off at center ice.
Yeah, it looks like another case of an inadvertent whistle. Face-off will go back to center ice.
Don't see those too often. I think we've seen them 3 times now this game. West Virginia has the puck in central ice, looks to clear it up into the Akron defensive zone where it hits the referee and bats right down to the ice. West Virginia is still able to keep possession though. Swinging it behind the Akron net, trying to get in front of the Akron net, unable to do so, where West Virginia keeps possession behind the net. West Virginia looking to keep it up by the blue line. West Virginia with the shot. Great save by the goalie. Akron able to keep possession here and push it up into central ice. 3-on-2 break here for Akron. Akron crosses the West Virginia's blue line, looks for the center pass, unable to do so, and the goalkeeper for West Virginia taps it right behind his net. Great little self-pass. Huge hit by the Akron player on the West Virginia player. Akron has time here to build some possession. Oh, West Virginia cuts it off from a bad pass by Akron. Tries to get it on net here, unable to do so. Akron goalie is able to use his stick to poke that puck away a little bit. Another West Virginia shot blocked down by the Akron keeper. Akron looking to be on a breakaway here, but the speed of the West Virginia University is greater than that of Akron. West Virginia pushing at the Akron keeper. Akron's keeper decides to cover it with his glove and get a dead puck.
So we had a bit of a clock malfunction there. The game clock in the rink was not running when it was supposed to be. The clock currently reads 15 minutes. It should read 14:21, which is what you're seeing on the broadcast. I don't know if anyone caught it, but we've had about 39 seconds of extra hockey that shouldn't have happened right now.
It's definitely a mistake that you're hoping a referee will catch, but the clock's running and we're back in play. Akron here with the puck behind their net, looking to push it up. No pressure by the West Virginia defense yet. West Virginia with the puck here behind their net. Akron pushing them pretty hard. West Virginia able to swing it back around behind their net and able to bring it up out of their zone into the neutralized zone where Akron takes it back into their defensive end. 14.5 minutes left here in the third period. Still got a 2-1 lead from the West Virginia University Mountaineers. Akron currently has the possession, but it's turned over by them. Mountaineers have it. Akron is able to take it back and try to get it out of their zone. West Virginia doesn't let them do so, but still loses the puck again. Akron has possession, and they go to their keeper to try to regain possession and get it out of their defensive zone. The puck definitely does so, and West Virginia looks to reset, bring it back into the defensive zone, where an Akron player is pushing the West Virginia player. West Virginia defender clears it out, and Akron catches it on their end. Akron looking for the shot from about mid-ice, a little high. Goalkeeper didn't even have to move. Akron looks to put it back in the middle where he's cut off by a West Virginia player, and there's another very dangerous hit He should be getting kicked out for that. That is a very dirty hit. That looks like another very high cross check to the chin. Do you throw him out there, Quinn Kuski?
Yeah, it's good to see the West Virginia player getting right back to his skates. Another really high, really illegal hit. And if things like this keep up, you have to wonder if the referees would consider, getting even more involved. This game's just going to start getting called tighter and tighter the more things like this happen.
Yeah, it's a dangerous hit there, but like you said, we're glad to be able to see him get right back up and get over to his bench. Did he come out, Quinn? Did they pull him off?
No, he's still on the ice. 81 was the one who got hit. He's still on the ice for West Virginia.
That's a tough play right there. He takes a big hit. He still wants to stay out there with his team. Akron looks for the shot on net. Oh, it looks like almost a deflection onto the goal. They're unable to get it, but they put it back in the middle and unable to put it on net. West Virginia clears, and Akron looks to reset in their zone. Akron putting it wide to the right side on... Akron tries to dump it into the West Virginia zone where they're successful. Akron tries to bring it across the middle, but there's not an Akron player there to finish it. The West Virginia defender clears it out. West Virginia and Akron fighting on the boards right behind the West Virginia goalie. Akron looks to be winning that possession. Akron player on the ground, still swinging the stick at the puck, trying to get it out. Akron looks to win that possession. Swinging it back up to the blue line, looks for the shot. No deflections there. Goalie's covering it up. No. We got a 3v2 break here for the Mountaineers about at center ice. They're about to cross the blue line for the Akron right now. Mountaineers look to put it on net. Oh, big hit by Akron's defender. And the goalie still tries to save it, but the West Virginia University Mountaineers, right place, right time, is able to put it over the goalie's glove.
West Virginia there, they capitalize on that 3-on-1, take a shot on goal, they play for the rebound, and they pot it home on the back door.
West Virginia players still shook up a little bit there. He had a great move. He was able to get around the defender and set up a 3v1. He got rocked, stayed down, but the West Virginia University player, his teammate, was in the right place at the right time and was able to finish it and put it right by the goalie. Looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulties down there on the other end with the camera.
Yeah, looks like they came into the boards pretty hard after that goal, and we're down a camera for the rest of this game, folks. So we got our corner angle here. The behind the net angle is no more.
At least we can see you guys. Which side is that? Anyway, we're back here at Akron with the puck moving it up into central ice. Akron here moving the puck into central ice, looking to create a possession in the offensive end. Crosses the blue line into the offensive end. He looks to put it in the middle. Akron player puts it in the middle, but there's still not an Akron player there to finish. West Virginia is always there on those Akron centralized passes. Akron able to keep it in but before the puck leaves the blue line, but West Virginia cuts it off, able to take it into center ice and also into the Akron the Akron defensive zone. West Virginia looks for a wrister. I believe that rang off the post and went wide. Late call here. It looks like getting a little chippy. Got a couple players scrapping right now back in the far left corner. 11 minutes and 54 seconds left in this 3-1 game. West Virginia University is winning. We have full strength 5v5.
Oh, really, we're close. There should be 11:15 left.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, no,
you're really holding that scoreboard person to that time.
Yeah, I've been watching it. They've mistimed it a couple times here. I've been on top of it on my end, so yeah, the clock should read 11:15. It reads 11:54.
Yeah.
I mean, those seconds can definitely play a factor in this game.
Absolutely, and it's not just 4 or 5 seconds. That's a whole 30, 45 seconds. So you gotta be on that as the scorekeeper.
Well, if West Virginia buries a couple here on this upcoming 5-on-3, then we got more penalties being put up on the board now. This game's just starting to get ugly. Yeah, but we're going to run out of room on the scoreboard here if these players don't settle down. So, clear it on the penalties for a little bit so that, we can get these off before we take more. Looks like we're playing 5-on-3. No, now there's 4 on the ice. That's 5-on-4, so it's just going to be a traditional power play. So my guess would be we have offsetting minor penalties and then another minor penalty on top of that to the Zips.
Thank you for that, Quinn. I'm pretty sure that is exactly what we have. Got a face-off here right in front of the Akron keeper. Ref goes to drop the puck. West Virginia wins the tip. Keeping possession as they wrap it across the blue line. Akron with a little tight defense there. West Virginia looks for the shot. Oh, across the middle. No, not able to get it on net. West Virginia tries to keep it in the Akron zone, and they're able to do so, but Akron cuts it off and is able to get into central ice where they have a 2v1 breakaway here. West Virginia gets a couple defenders back and cut off the breakaway, so they are not able. Oh, I believe the ref is calling a hand pass there. And there we have a dead puck. A couple fans arguing with the ref's call there, but I believe that was a good call. It looked like a hand pass to us. West Virginia wins the tip there. Push it into central ice. Now into the Akron defensive zone. Akron defender plays it out and it goes out of play. Still a little confused on that last hand pass call there. Looked like the Mountaineer player hand passed it, but I don't know if that's what the refs wanted to call. Back here for the face-off in front of the Akron keeper again. West Virginia doing really well on the face-offs this period, won almost all of them. Looks for the shot on, just try to get the deflection, doesn't work. West Virginia at the top of the key with the puck, working around the right side. Back to the top, he takes the shot, and it is blocked by the Akron defender. Akron tries to clear, and the West Virginia University defender cuts it off before he is able to, but West Virginia resets behind their net. No pressure here by the Akron Zips as West Virginia pushes it up, already beating one Akron Zip. You got a 4v4 here, 4v3, excuse me. West Virginia looks for the shot and drops right out in front of the Akron keeper, but Akron is able to get it out in front of the net, keep it away from danger. West Virginia with a wide open play here in front of the net. West Virginia with the shot, and it goes just wide left. West Virginia still back with the puck in the Akron zone. Akron tries to clear it, is unable to do so. West Virginia with the shot, and that's another great save by the Akron keeper. West Virginia still with the puck on the left side, working this power play for another 25 seconds. Looks like we have a little regular interference or goal interference. I'm not sure. It looked like somebody pushed the Mountaineer player into the Akron goalie. I'm very curious to see what the refs are going to call here. And it looks like that's exactly what it was. Looks like an interference by the Akron player. Looks like he pushed the Mountaineer player into the goal. Up by the blue line, and they're switching it around. West Virginia looking here for the wrister on net, and it's off wide to the right. West Virginia still with the puck in front of the blue line. Looks like we got our camera back up and running, so we are back and ready to go. 9.5 minutes in the play. 1 minute and 10 seconds left on this West Virginia power play. West Virginia looks for the shot, but it's padded out wide. Still West Virginia with this possession in the Akron zone. Akron is really trying to clear, but they are still unable to do so. Oh, and there they go off the deflection. They are able to clear, and they're able to get the line change. West Virginia trying to get back into their zone before they're able to get the full line back out. There we go. West Virginia keeping a clean possession in Akron zone. Get it behind the net. Akron doesn't look to be trying to get the puck out too well. 35 seconds left on the power play. West Virginia here at the top of the blue line being pressured by Akron. Switch to the sides of the ice. West Virginia shot. And it crosses just in front of the Akron keeper where not one West Virginia player is there to tap it back in. West Virginia still out in front of their goalie. Try to put a shot on, doesn't work. They try to swing it back behind the net. West Virginia here in front of the Akron keeper. trying to get a shot off, trying to get possession of the puck, unable to get a shot off. The Akron defenders are able to clear it, and we have 10 seconds on the power play. It looks like it will run out before we can get any type of play in before that power play is over.
We got 6 seconds left here in the West Virginia power play. Even if they don't get one out of this power play, I mean, you've killed off almost 4 minutes of this game now. So in that sense, you're definitely coming out of this on top.
Absolutely. I mean, you're up 2 goals, 8.5 minutes left. You really just think, as a team, you want to just close this out and really do whatever you can to just keep them from getting a second goal, because getting a second goal for them will just change the momentum completely, and they actually still feel that they are in the game. West Virginia with the win of the tip. They have a 3v3 break here, coming up the ice into the Akron zone. West Virginia looks for the wrister, unable to get it on target. It goes out right. Physical play here on the boards in the Akron right side. Akron's able to clear it, where West Virginia gathers it in the neutral ice and tries to regain possession. West Virginia then dumps it in here behind the Akron keeper, where he is able to come behind the goal and stop it, but the West Virginia player is quick on him, steals the puck, and they're wrapping it around the top of the ice. Look for the shot, and the ref blows his whistle. Couple sketchy turnovers there for the Akron Zips, losing the puck a couple times in their zone, and West Virginia is able to keep it in there and keep getting shots on net. And the momentum's looking really good for the Mountaineers right now.
I believe there the ref might have blown that play dead, thought the goalie had it, and it wound up being loose, but ref loses sight of it, you'd rather him blow the whistle.
West Virginia won that tip and tried to get the shot on goal, but was unable to do so. Still with the possession on the left side, just lined up with the goal post. West Virginia University has possession still. Akron takes it here on the left side. Is unable to clear. West Virginia cuts it off at the blue line. West Virginia player lost his stick. Doesn't even want to go grab it. He wants to stay on that puck, try to keep it in their zone, but is unable to do so. West Virginia has to reset back in their end. Akron player tried to get a big hit on West Virginia, trying to cross into their zone, but was unable to do so, and West Virginia successfully gets the puck into the Akron zone. Akron here cuts off the possession. Player with no stick gets a little kick pass to his teammate. West Virginia cuts it off, dumps it back into the Akron zone, where the Akron goalie stops it behind the net for his defender. West Virginia, all 5 players is in the... Akron has the puck, and all 5 West Virginia players look like they are in their zone, trying not to let them out and give them any chances to stop the puck, like the Akron goalie does now.
West Virginia right now, they're playing the best form of defense, and that's a really good offense. You can keep that puck down in the offensive end. There's no way Akron can score and come back in this game.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that. Just keep those pucks firing, and eventually you'll get one in the back of that net. You'd like to think being up 3 goals in hockey would be a sealed deal, and I would like to think that too. So the West Virginia Mountaineers are definitely looking to sneak another one past here. West Virginia looks to win the tip, but it goes to an Akron player. Akron swinging it back behind their goal, where the puck is met by a West Virginia player and not able to steal it from the Akron player. Akron keeps possession and tries to wing it back around the back of their net. Akron looks to clear up to the right side, and looks like they have a little run here. West Virginia cuts off the puck in their end, tries to get an outlet pass, unable to do so, puts it on the Akron player, that dumps it then into the Mountaineer zone, and the goalie for the Mountaineers cover it up.
West Virginia not taking any chances. They probably could have passed that puck out to a defenseman, but hold it, go in, freeze the puck, and just play a real safe game here up by 2 in the third.
Got a face off here right in front of the West Virginia University goalie. Akron looks to have won that, looks for the shot here on net. Goes for it, and a great save by the keeper. Another great save by the keeper on the deflection. West Virginia looks to clear it here after 2 great saves from the West Virginia University keeper. West Virginia gets it now into the Akron zone. Just behind the Akron goalkeeper, the West Virginia University Mountaineers are pressuring. Akron able to keep possession here, swing it back on the other side of their net. Akron here clearing their zone, getting it into neutral ice. Akron here dumping it behind the West Virginia University goal. Gets it back up to the top key. Tries to swing it up to his player. Tries to put it in the middle, but it's cut off by the West Virginia attacker. We got the puck here in the middle. Akron on the great kick save by the West Virginia goalie. Akron got lucky there, got a couple of deflections, put it right in front of the West Virginia goalie, but they were unable to finish. Another couple great saves by the West Virginia goalie. Akron back here right behind the West Virginia goal. Look for a wraparound shot, unable to do so. Looks like West Virginia here is on a break, got a 2v2 break. West Virginia looks to put it in the middle, unable to do so. The Akron player uses his skate to kick it out wide. 5 minutes left here on the 3-1 lead from the West Virginia University Mountaineers. Akron looks to come down. They push it in the West Virginia zone. Akron looks to shoot. That's a great glove save by the West Virginia keeper. Couple late hits there. Akron player looks to hit the goalie. Goalie even comes out and wants a piece of him. But the players will not let that happen. Refs want to split all the players up. Don't want any altercations here. Letting the game soar through and letting these last 5 minutes try to roll out and finish it off how everybody wants it to be finished. A good, clean game. It's tough to have that, though. You got a 3-1 lead by the Mountaineers, and those Akron Zips, they're going to want to get into the West Virginia heads and try to sneak one in here before at least 3 minutes left.
Yeah, the West Virginia goalie, he wears the number of the great Patrick Raw. He's making saves worthy of the great Patrick Raw and getting involved in the scraps after the whistle, just like the great Patrick Raw.
Absolutely, there. I love the comparison. West Virginia able to clear it out of their zone. Oh, push it into the Akron zone where the Akron defender comes and lays out the West Virginia attacker. Takes back the puck and tries to get it out of their zone. West Virginia cuts it off in neutral ice, dumping it right back into the Akron zone where the puck goes out of play, and we have a face-off in front of the Akron goalkeeper. Excuse me, not in front of the Akron goalkeeper. We have a face-off in center ice. Just like I said it a minute ago, a couple players coming face-to-face, talking back and forth, but the refs are quick to split it up, just as usual.
Yeah, this game's starting to break down just like the last one did. We're getting it late in that third period. It's getting real scrappy. And if you're the Zips, the more and more you think you can't come back in this game, the scrappier it's going to get.
Yeah, for sure. On that West Virginia University face-off win. Akron wins it behind their net. Akron looking to clear the puck into the neutral zone. They do so with 3 West Virginia defenders on them. They finally steal the puck and they get it back into the Akron zone. Have a little break here. West Virginia looks to put it out in front of the net. Unable to do so, and there's a scrum in front of the net. Don't know what's going on over there. Waiting for a referee call. I don't believe we have a goal. I think we have a dead puck. Yeah, we have a dead puck. Looks like we're going to have a face-off out in front of the Akron keeper.
That was about as close as you can get to a 3-goal lead there for West Virginia. They were trying to jam that one home, and a great job by the Zips netminder to get on top of that and cover up for a stoppage in play.
West Virginia doing very well on the face-offs tonight. It seems to look like they have been winning most face-offs, and they are coming out on top and being able to put a lot of shots on. They have 26 shots on goal compared to Akron's 18. Akron here with the puck behind their net. Being pressured by West Virginia here, not letting them get out of their zone, but they are able to end up getting it out of their zone where West Virginia picks the puck up back in their zone and restarts possession. Akron able to cut it off in center ice. Dumps it back into the West Virginia zone where it's cut off by a West Virginia University player's hand. Dropped back down to the ice and they regain possession. Try to clear it up the ice where Akron cuts it off in central ice. Akron then tries to dump it down over towards us. West Virginia cuts it off, swings it around behind their goal and keeps possession on the left side of the ice. Akron is able to cut it off here in the center, looks for the shot. Great save there by the West Virginia University keeper. Those are tough there when you got the deflection. You don't know where it's going to go as a goalie, and it's tough to see those through.
Yeah, the one thing that's lucky there for our netminder in yellow, he had that puck get deflected, but it slowed it way down. Sometimes if those deflections come off a flatter stick there, they can come in with just as much heat but change angle. That one kind of turned into a change-up and was easy to adjust to.
West Virginia with the tip win. 2 Akron offensive players meet the West Virginia player behind the net, but West Virginia is still able to get it out of their zone, carrying it through center ice. West Virginia on a very powerful attack right now. Tries to cross ice, unable to do so. The goalie taps it out wide, and Akron's coming out of their zone right now. West Virginia cutting off the puck in central ice. We have 3 minutes left to this 3-1 West Virginia lead. West Virginia able to keep possession in Akron's zone. Just lined up with the goalpost on the right side of the ice. West Virginia with the shot at the top of the key, and Akron is able to gather it in his goalie glove for the dead puck.
Now, if our game clock was accurate here in the rink, we would currently be sitting here talking about the potential of the Zips pulling their goalie in the near future. But instead of it being 2:14 remaining in the period, there's actually 2:42 remaining in the period. I've made a few people aware of the clock mishap, and we'll see if anything changes. I'm not sure if the referees are aware down on the ice, but with a timeout being called, this would be the time to fix it.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised nobody has noticed that still to this point, but it looks like the person running the clock probably didn't want anyone to notice, if you're going to ask me. Timeout going on here. Both teams looking to talk to their coach and try to get some offensive schemes lining up. I think our cameraman's trying to zoom in here to a couple fans on the sideline. They've been really rowdy, making a lot of noise over there, cheering on their West Virginia Mountaineers. Although I don't know what their theme is, they're all wearing different jerseys from different professional teams.
All you gotta do is click. All you gotta do is click this. All you gotta do is click it.
Oh, okay.
We're back here with the face-off down on the end of the Akron Zips. West Virginia won the tip, tried to get a shot on goal, but are unable to do so there. West Virginia keeps possession. Akron cuts it off here behind Akron's net. Trying to get it out, but West Virginia is really not trying to let them. Big hit there by the Mountaineer player, but Akron comes down to the Mountaineer zone, looks to get a shot on net. This could be important here for Akron if they got this one really quickly. They would make it a game here, but the West Virginia goalie grabs it and ends play there. For those watching online, we have 1:44 on our broadcast, but here on ice it's 2:12. I don't know if they still have not fixed that yet, so I don't believe they are going to. So forget about that time in the top of your broadcast. 1:44 is not accurate. The time we have is 2:12 on left in this game. Got the face-off right here in front of us. Looks like Akron had won the face. Akron looks to get one on goal. Keeper's able to keep it out wide. Goes behind the net. Akron here in the middle. Tries to put it on net, but West Virginia is able to clear it out. Akron has their goalie pulled, by the way. We have a 6v5, it looks like. Akron has having the puck right behind the West Virginia net. Well, Akron tries to put it back. Shot deflection towards the West Virginia goalkeeper, but West Virginia covers it up, and there looks like to be there's a late hit, and there's going to be a penalty called by the refs. West Virginia getting a little chippy here. The referee's trying to split everyone up. Everyone's talking back and forth to each other. West Virginia fans starting to coke up a little na, hey, goodbye chant over there on the sideline. I think they believe this is over, but if I'm being honest with you, 1:46, down a player, pulled goalie on the other side, Akron still has a chance.
Yeah, they do, and I'll tell you right now, that extra 39 seconds could wind up playing a huge factor in this game.
Absolutely. How do you think we would feel if we're the only ones here in the building that understand that the game should be over and Akron comes back and ties it and the time isn't correct?
That's definitely something that could become a possibility. Us, along with everyone watching at home, we know where the clock's supposed to be right now. It should be 1:03 remaining in the third period. Instead, it's 1:39 right now remaining in the period. So we've got a pretty significant time discrepancy, and a time discrepancy that you can score 2 goals in that amount of time.
Yeah, hopefully the West Virginia Mountaineers can keep up the penalty kill like they have all game and not let these Zips get another goal here before at least a minute left. Zips here have the puck in neutral ice, looking to push it up quickly into the Mountaineer territory. They're able to do so, but there's 3 Mountaineer defenders swarming him. Getting it in the middle, Zips put on a shot and they're unable to do so. Great save by the Mountaineer goalie. Zip with the puck at blue ice, swinging it around to the left side. Shot on goal, and great save on the blocker of the West Virginia goalie. The Zips still try to put it back in front of the net. Unable to do so, gets behind the goal. Mountaineer Mountaineers are able to clear it, and it is going towards goal.
That's on goal. Oh, it's just wide.
Just without those bad bounces, that thing is going in there with no goalie. But this ice, it's as choppy as it is, it can bounce anywhere. West Virginia still with the puck in that end, looks with the open goal shot, and the Akron defender blocks it before it even can get there. Akron needs to get this thing out, or there's going to be maybe a goal here. There you go. Akron's able to regain possession on 30 seconds left on the clock. They're looking to push it, but the Akron offensive player is not able to gain possession and get it into the offensive zone. The defender cuts it off, pulls back to his right wing. Akron unable to get it into the zone of the Mountaineers. Centralized Akron. Akron looks to dump. Too far, looks like they cleared. Akron player able to bring it down with his glove and centralize. Looking to get it back in. We got 5 seconds. It looks like this is over, folks, and it looks like we have a great 3-1 win by your Mountaineers. Another win 2 nights in a row by the Mountaineers against the same team twice. Can't get much better of more of a confidence booster than that.
West Virginia hockey, but D1 and D2 4-0 this weekend.
Hey, it doesn't get much better than that. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Again, it's Chris Bleitzmeter alongside Quinn Kuski. Thank you again, everybody, for watching. We will see you in a couple weeks.